They'll call me cruel, but cruelty is just a word people use when they don't understand. They think I'm doing this out of hatred, out of vengeance. Ghost of their era got that. It's about balance. It's about tearing down the disease to make way for something new. Sometimes you have to burn the forest to let it grow again. And if that makes me the fire, so be it. I didn't ask for this role, but someone had to take it. And no one else had the guts. They're too busy clinging to their hope, to their lies, to their fear of what happens when the system collapses. But the system is already broken. I'm just finishing what they started. And when it's done, when their towers are ash and their thrones are rubble, I'll disappear into the shadows again. I don't want their thanks, their pity, or their understanding. I don't need them to see me as a hero, because I'm not. Heroes are just villains with better PR, and I have no interest in playing that game. I am what they made me, what the world made me, and that's enough. I'll leave them to pick up the pieces, to rebuild, to decide if they've learned anything at all. But I won't wait for their redemption, because I know better. People don't change unless they're forced to, and even then it's a gamble. But maybe, just maybe, they'll remember what happens when they push too far. Take too much, destroy too freely. Maybe they'll think twice before building their next empire on the bones of the innocent. Or maybe they won't. Maybe the cycle will start all over again, and someone else will have to do what I've done. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I've done my part, played my role, and now it's someone else's turn. Oh, they'll tell stories about me, call me a monster, a villain, the ender of worlds. Let them. Stories are for the living, and I've been dead inside for a long time. Invincibility is a lie. Power is a lie. Every empire, no matter how vast, falls eventually. History is littered with the ruins of men who thought they were gods. And these men, these so-called leaders, are no different. They think their technology, their influence, their money will save them. But none of that matters when the ground beneath their feet is splitting open, when the foundations they built their kingdoms on are nothing but sand. Oh, they'll fight to the bitter end, clawing at their thrones, dragging down anyone who dares to challenge them. But the more they fight, the more they reveal their weakness, their desperation. And that's when the cracks become chasms, when the whole facade comes crashing down. It's not a question of if, it's when. And when it happens, I'll be there to watch. Not to gloat, not to revel in their defeat, but to remind them that they're not untouchable, that even the mightiest fall. They'll ask why I did it, as if they don't already know. They'll search for motives, for reasons, for something they can pin their blame on. But the why doesn't matter. What matters is that it's done. What matters is that the cycle has been broken, if only for a moment, if only to remind them of what they've lost. And maybe, just maybe, they'll think twice before rebuilding their thrones on the backs of the broken. But I'm not holding my breath. Humanity has a way of forgetting its lessons, of repeating its mistakes with astonishing precision. It's almost admirable, in a twisted way, their ability to blind themselves to the consequences of their actions. But that blindness is their undoing. They can't see the storm until it's already tearing them apart. And by then, it's too late. They'll call it tragedy, disaster. Anything but the result of their own choices. But deep down they'll know. They'll always know. And when it's all over, when the dust has settled and the world is quiet again, I'll disappear. I'll fade back into the shadows, into the nothingness they tried so hard to banish me to. I don't need their gratitude, their pity, their understanding. I am not their hero, and I never wanted to be. I am their reckoning, their mirror, their reminder that they are not as untouchable as they believe, and that is enough. and yet you hesitate. Why? Because they've made you believe that wanting is greed, that hunger is shameful. They trained you to feel guilty for dreaming beyond the cage they built for you. But here's the true thing: the ones who tell you to be humble sit on golden thrones. The ones who say ambition is dangerous have already taken everything they wanted. They don't want you to starve out of kindness. They want you to starve so you never taste power, because power is intoxicating. Once you've held it, nothing else will do. Once you've felt it, the thought of losing it is unbearable. And that's why they hoard it. That's why they demonize it. Because they know, once you feel it, once you taste it, you will never go back. And that terrifies them. Because the moment you stop crawling, the moment you stand, the moment you dare, their empire trembles. So set fire to their world, tear down their illusions, let them call you a monster. Let them curse your name, because fear is respect in its rawest form, and respect is never given freely. You must seize it. You must demand it. They will hate you for it. They will fight to contain you, because their power only exists if you remain powerless. And you were never meant to be powerless. You were never meant to be tamed. So let them fear you. Let them murmur your name like a legend. Let them shudder when you enter the room, because the world belongs to those who refuse to bow. And you are done bowing. Oh, you want me to talk like him? All right, let's peel back the veneer of sanity and dance in the madness for a while. You see, life isn't about the rules they shove down your throat. It's about the chaos they try so hard to hide. You think you're playing by the rules, but the rules are a joke, sweetheart. They're a smokescreen to keep you in line, to keep you docile, to keep you from realizing that you're just one bad day away from being me. You want motivation. Fine, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a world where everyone's wearing masks, pretending to be good, pretending to care, pretending to be sane. But deep down, they're all just animals, clawing at each other for scraps. And you're no different. You're just better at hiding it. But why hide? Why not let it all out? Why not show them the monster they've created? You think you're the hero of your story. Newsflash, there are no heroes. There are no villains. There's only power and those too weak to take it. You want to win? Then stop playing their game. Burn it all down. Laugh while you do it. Because in the end, it's not about right or wrong. It's about who's left standing. And trust me, darling, when the dust settles, it's going to be you. Not because you're good, not because you're evil, but because you're willing to do what they won't. You're willing to embrace the madness. So go ahead. Take the leap. And when you're falling, don't scream. Smile. Because that's when you'll realize that the joke's on them. And you're the punchline. You want more. Fine. Let's keep going, peeling back the layers until there's nothing left but the raw, bitter truth. You see, they teach you to fear the darkness, to run from it, to fight it. But that's the greatest trick of all. They want you weak, dependent, shackled to their rules. Because the moment you stop running, the moment you turn around and face it, you realize the darkness isn't your enemy. It's your strength. It's where you find what the light could never give. Freedom. But oh, it's not what you think. It's not peace. It's not happiness. Freedom is chaos. It's destruction. It's the moment you stop caring about what anyone else thinks and start living for yourself. And yes, they'll hate you for it. They'll call you selfish, cruel, unhinged. But why should that matter? Their approval doesn't pay the price of your survival. Their opinions don't keep the demons at bay. You've been lied to your entire life. Lied to about what's right, what's wrong, what's worth fighting for. They told you to play by the rules, to follow the path laid out for you. But here's the thing, the rules were made to keep you in line. The path was never yours to walk. It was theirs, always theirs. And yet, you keep walking it. You keep hoping it will lead somewhere, that if you just endure a little longer, things will get better. But they won't. They never do. The game is rigged, the dice are loaded, and every step you take only brings you closer to the realization that it was all for nothing. But that realization, that's where the power lies. Because once you know the game is rigged, you stop playing by their rules. You make your own. You stop waiting for permission, for validation, for someone to tell you that you're enough. You take what you want. You become the thing they fear. Not because you're evil, but because you're free. And real freedom, it terrifies them. Because it means you don't need them anymore. You don't need their approval, their acceptance, their fake little promises of salvation. You're done pretending, done smiling, done fitting into a box that was never meant for you. So what happens next? That's up to you. You can keep playing the game, keep hoping for a different outcome, keep chasing a dream that isn't yours, or you can burn it all down, tear up the rule book, rewrite the story, not as a hero, not as a villain, but as something else entirely. Because heroes and villains, they're just labels, masks we wear to make sense of the chaos. But you don't need a mask anymore. You don't need their stories, their rules, their lies. You need only one thing, the courage to let go. Oh, you're still here, still hungry for more good. That means you're ready, ready to stop pretending, ready to stop waiting, ready to finally step into the fire and let it consume every last piece of who they told you to be. They always said you had a choice. Be good or be nothing, follow or be left behind, obey or be cast out. But what if I told you there was another option? What if I told you they could burn their rules to ash and build something new? Because good doesn't win. It never did. The ones who get what they want aren't ones who beg for it. They're the ones who take it. The ones who refuse to kneel. Refuse to play by rules designed to keep them powerless. You've felt powerless, haven't you? You've swallowed your anger, your ambition, your fire, because they told you it was wrong. They told you to be small, to be grateful, to smile while they walked all over you. But tell me, did that get you anywhere? Did kindness fill the emptiness inside? Did obedience bring you the life you wanted? No. It left you standing in the shadows, watching as others, stronger, fiercer, less afraid, took everything you ever dreamed of, and now here you are, at the edge, one step away from becoming something else, something they can't control, something they can't predict, and that scares them, doesn't it? Because they know what happens when someone like you wakes up. They know what happens when someone like you decides they've had enough. So go ahead, let go of the fear, the doubt, the hesitation. Rip out the part of you that still craves their approval and throw it away. You don't need it. You never did. Let them call you ruthless. Let them call you heartless. Let them scream your name in fear instead of love. Because in the end, it doesn't matter what they think. It never did. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be accepted. You are here to rise, to take, to carve your name into a world that tried to forget you. And when the dust settles, when they look at you with terror in their eyes, when they finally understand what you've become, don't say a word. Just smile, because the joke was always on them. And now you get the last laugh.